Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Hi everyone, and have a good time. Let me introduce myself. I'm ADRISTI, ZULAIKA, and I want to present my paper about the role of forensic linguistics in crime investigation, applications in legal proceedings. Hope you enjoy. So, this paper considers the extent to which forensic linguistics can be regarded as a science, and outlines some of its useful methods in legal proceedings. On the basis of analysis, this article concludes that forensic linguistics is useful for criminal investigation and judicial procedure analysis, especially the analysis of legal disputes. It can also be used for the analysis and interpretation of court discourse and the translation of legal documents to improve its readability and comprehensibility. Okay, so forensic linguistics analyze and evaluates language in relation to crimes, legal proceedings, or disputes in law. It can also be used to analyze discourse in court and to interpret and translate legal documents for readability and comprehension. As a result of the analysis, it is shown that forensic linguistics as an interdisciplinary field that defines and explores language in court as evidence for police, judges, and lawyers. Forensic linguistics proves useful when the legal complications are explained through the expertise of descriptive and applied language in order to uncover the hidden information and make a better judgment in legal cases. It is also used to resolve private disputes that arise between the parties and that may lead to legal proceedings. The research in this paper have analyzed in detail the characteristics of forensic linguistics, which may be considered science. In this paper, I use the legal methods can be investigated with either forensic or non-forensic application. The data of this research are some books and articles related to forensic linguistics. In forensic linguistics, the scientific method is used because it requires accurate results. The data are taken from online book library and journals. In collecting the data, library research and documentation is used to obtain the data. Some steps are done in analyzing the data, which is collecting, observing, reading, and describing. Okay, now we move to applications of forensic linguistics. Forensic linguistics can be used in many areas of law and criminal investigation. The most useful applications of this branch of linguistics are forensic phonetics, language and authority and power relations, discrepancies in police reports, cross-cultural and cross-language differences in testimony, and the attribution of authorship. Okay, so I will explain to you guys one by one. First is forensic phonetics. The forensic phonetics area consists of two major elements. First is the analysis of transmitted and stored audio signals. Usually, the signals is electroacoustic. The other is to analyze the communication behavior itself. So the first of these two areas involves improving speech intelligibility, speech decoding, including the accuracy of transcripts and recording authentication. The second area involves issues such as identifying the speaker from the speaker's voice, identifying the speaker's health, mood, or mental state, and analyzing speech to find evidence of the deceptions. Uh, and guys, for your information, dialects, accent, phoneme, pronunciations are important in identifying suspects. Why? Because due to some reason, such as contextual information or paralinguistic features, some information may be lost or the testimony is inaccurate. So it is necessary to transcribe the spoken text into written from the forensic investigation. The second is language in authority and power relations. According to Solon and Cheersman, what the party says cannot be interpreted as instructions on the semantic level, but from a pragmatic point of view, it presents an authorization context. Usually, the parties do not have enough authority to make promises such as, well, we will go easy on you if you confess, yet this implied their request to cooperate. This means that despite the requirement that strongly rely on context when interpreting speech, acts, courts may habitually use inferences and implications outside the context to make decisions. Third is discrepancies in police reports. The accuracy of police reports and suspect statements is important during legal proceedings and investigation. Why? Because to establish this accuracy, it is necessary to consider the relationship between the documents on display and the events in this regard. This is done by analyzing the time frame, incident, the creation, time series of events, and the accuracy of the reproduction of these events. Fourth is cross-cultural and cross-linguistic differences in testimony. Linguists study differences in varieties and dialects within a given language and across cultural and language. Unfortunately, this cross-cultural linguistics research may not be taken into account by law enforcement authorities passing crucial judgment related to someone's guilt or innocence. Also, the question and testimony that are specifically interpreted can lead to confusion and misunderstandings. As an example of this, in order to deny the acquisition, the question with negative tag in English may require a negative answer. For example, you took the money, didn't you? No, I didn't. Meanwhile, the tag question in many other languages, including some language, you can answer either way negatively or positively. Okay. Five, last but not least, is authorship attribution. Authorship attribution means inferring characteristics of an author based on characteristics of documents prepared by that particular author. Forensic linguistics need to compare documents written by suspects with other evidence or documents. They determine if the document was written by the same author. This analysis is possible because everyone uses their own linguistic characteristics. It is a known fact when one person refers to a particular word or phrase more than others and has a different writing style than the others. Similarly, one may have a different grammatical interpretation than the others. In conclusion, everyone has a unique version of the language, called a dialect, which is unique enough to ensure that forensic linguists can distinguish between two documents written by the same person. Guys, in most criminal cases, the length of the relevant documents is very short, perhaps 10 words or less, which makes this analysis difficult. Such as line is not enough to analyze personal language. Okay, now finally we move to the conclusion. of this paper. Based on the analysis, it can be concluded that a new subtype of forensic linguistics and forensic science as a subpart of applied or descriptive linguistics analyze and measure language with respect to crime, judicial proceedings, and disputes. For this purpose, court discourse legal documents, police attention, and analysis of photo attribution can be performed by forensic linguistics. It is also used in private disputes that require reconciliation between the parties and may lead to legal action. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.